Hey guys, it's Jan Sharte and I'm back again with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering two questions that I get all the time. So the first question is, how do I attract my ideal audience? And the second question is, how can I drive more traffic to my website? So if you have been wondering what the answers to those two questions are, stay tuned. Alright, so first and foremost, I want y'all to know that building a business is not about making sales. Building a business is about building relationships. So the very first thing that I want you guys to know or to understand about attracting your ideal audience is that you need to try to do that from the standpoint of building a relationship with them rather than trying to convert them into becoming a customer. So when you're thinking about trying to build a relationship with someone, typically there's just two things that causes someone to want to be in a relationship with them. So either it's they're attracted to how that person or that entity looks, or they're attracted to their personality. So how does that relate to a business? Well, your business should look good and or have a great personality. There needs to be something about your business that people can either see or something that they can feel that causes them to want to stick around and get to know your brand more. So businesses, the most successful businesses, they are in the business of relationship building, which ultimately helps them to drive sales. And think about it from, the realm of dating. If I were to be dating someone, or if I was trying to get someone to want to date me, I wouldn't show up looking my worst every day. I wouldn't show up to their job looking crazy. I wouldn't show up to school looking crazy every day. I would show up looking my absolute best. Like, I would hope that every single day would be the day that person would notice my existence and want to get to know me better. So think about your business in the same way. Your content is what's going to attract people to you visually, or attract people to your business visually. So if the content does not visually look good, you're going to have a really, really, really hard time attracting your target audience. Now, on top of that, you're trying to, or should be trying to, attract a specific type of person or a specific audience. So you can't just dress any kind of way. So if you're trying to attract a cute guy, you probably want to know, like, what kind of girls does he like, or what type of girls has he dated in the past? Like, what's his personal style, to give you some type of idea as to how you should dress or how you maybe should present yourself to catch his eye. So same with your business. You need to know enough about your ideal customer in order to know how to dress your business up, how to make your business look the way that it needs to look to attract the person that you want to attract. How do you do that? Market research. You need to know who you are trying to compare your brand with, or who you compete with. What brands sell what you sell, or serve the audience that you serve. Whatever they've done thus far has attracted the audience that you want. So this isn't to say that you need to go copy what they've done, but there's something that they do very well as it relates to their content, as it relates to whatever they put out into the world, that continuously makes people feel drawn to them. So if you look at their page or their content, their website, things like that, and it looks totally different than what your brand looks like, you got to do something about it. So another example that I'll give you is just like, going to a play or going to a concert or anything like that. You don't typically buy a ticket to something that you're not actually interested in, viewing or hearing or something like that. You buy tickets to something that you're interested in. So your favorite singer or rapper or whoever, you're like, I really love that person's lyrics. I love what they talk about. Like, the songs really hit my spirit. Therefore, I want to hear this person. I want to be in the same room with that person. So if you're trying to attract an audience, you're trying to get people who want to view what you have to offer. Well, how do I do that? How do I make sure that whatever I am creating will attract them? Again, you have to know enough about them in order to create something that makes sense for them and that will cause them to want to buy a ticket to your show. Hopefully that makes sense. So when you're thinking about attraction typically, just generally speaking, comes down to what something looks like and how something makes someone feel. So currently, if your content or your brand as a whole visually does not speak a person's language, and by speak someone's language, I mean, like, it causes them to feel attraction, it causes them to be like, man, that looks really good, you need to go back to the drawing board. You need to work on your content, what it looks like visually. Or if your brand doesn't have a personality, you need to go back to the drawing board. What does my content need to look like? What does my messaging need to sound like? What type of messages do I need to convey to make my audience feel something or feel connected to my brand? So that's attraction. You got to figure out how to literally attract someone. All right, so now let's talk about traffic. So where the heck does traffic come from? I really want you guys to know that website traffic does not just fall from the sky. People don't just learn about your business because you launched it. So building a business and launching a business are two totally separate things. I like to think about it from the standpoint of like NASA. NASA will build a rocket ship or a spaceship, but them launching it into the sky is something totally different. So you may have launched a business, but you haven't really built a business. You really haven't taken the time to figure out or determine what this business needs to look and sound like, or you know what it actually needs to be to attract people and ultimately to drive them to my website. Driving someone to your website takes convincing. It takes persuasion. It takes reasoning. You have to give people a reason to want to take action. So first and foremost, if you're not attracting people, you naturally are not going to be able to drive traffic to your website. So once you have attracted people or made people aware as it relates to, you know, the buyer's journey and things of that nature, once you have attracted someone, now you have to figure out how to hold conversation with them and how to hold conversations with them in a way that makes them want to take further action. How can I change my wording when it's appropriate based on what I know about this person to convince them to want to go to my website? So I don't typically just, you know, wake up one day or wake up in the middle of the night like, oh my God, I need shoes. Let me go to Aldo, or let me go buy a new handbag. Like, that just doesn't happen. People don't just naturally think of our businesses. I know we would like to think, or we would hope that we get to the point where people just naturally think of us and naturally go to our browsers and type our website addresses in, but that is not what happens for the large majority of businesses. Businesses, successful businesses, they advertise, they promote their products in, you know, unconventional and creative ways to get their brand and their products out in front of the audience that they want that brand and that product to be in front of. So right now you're probably utilizing social media. You might be utilizing it very heavily, or what you feel is heavily, but I really want you to know that posting one time a day isn't heavily. You can post a multitude of times in a day's time, but every single post that you share should be valuable, and you should know what objective you're trying to meet when you post that piece of content. So one thing that I hear a lot of times is people say, I post, you know, one time a day, but what about the other 23 hours in the day? I don't know how many minutes there are today, but there's so many minutes of the day where people are logging into social media to intake content, and there's a lot of minutes in the day where your content's not being seen. There's a lot of people who are not seeing your content, and you know, if the first piece of content or the only piece of content that they see that day is a meme or it's a quote or something like that, that is not driving traffic to your website. That might engage someone. It might make them feel something. You've checked a box. You're like, dang, I did something good here. I made them feel something, but it didn't necessarily make them want to go to your website. So the first thing I want you to know is that you have to be pumping out enough content to even keep or get your content in front of as many eyes as possible. You need to post more than one time to get it in front of as many eyes as possible. But driving traffic is more than just posting on social media. It also can be running ads. It could be influencer marketing. It could be collaborations or partnerships with other brands, and you're like cross promoting each other's products. It could be you getting in front of getting on the news or getting in the media. It could be you sponsoring a podcast or sponsoring a podcast episode. It could be a multitude of things. It could come down to search engine optimization, making sure that my website has the appropriate words or explanations or keywords, so that if someone is searching for what my brand has to offer, it increases the likelihood of someone finding my brand in search engine results. So traffic comes from a multitude of places. It doesn't just fall from the sky, and it takes real work. So I want you to take some time to think about, where else could I possibly be promoting my brand and my products? Think about where you currently, when you discover products these days, where do you typically see where do you typically become aware? How do you typically become aware? There's a long list of ways that you could be getting in front of people and ultimately driving traffic to your website. So it's time to get creative. Stop relying on, you know, hope and luck. You need to do the work to drive the traffic. You need to tell people something about your brand that makes them want to take further action. So as you can see, there's no like straightforward very direct answer to driving traffic or attracting your ideal audience. It really does come down to you knowing enough about your target audience to know how your brand should look, how it should sound, and where all of this content should be placed so that you can potentially attract that audience. But then you need to have diversity in the content to be able to convince someone to want to take action and actually go to your website. Now, converting that website traffic into sales is something totally different, and that is a conversation we'll have on another day. But I hope that this video was helpful. I want to invite you guys to join my monthly membership if you are not already a member. I'm going to put the link in the description box below so you can learn more. But we are talking about marketing all month long in the month of March, and we're going to be sharing a bunch of different tactics that you can be utilizing to promote your brand and to ultimately attract more eyes and hopefully make more sales. So if you guys are interested, click the link in the description box. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment box. But otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.